Live from KSAT 12. Good Morning San Antonio starts right now.
All we know is she got to the hospital with no heartbeat.
The father of a child critically injured in the Excelled Montessori school crash, still searching for answers. What he wants to know from Bexar County investigators. And a deadly year for the Bexar County Jail. We take a look at the challenges and controversies surrounding the jail right now on GMSA. But first, let's take a look outside with live cam. Another kind of warm, muggy start to our Saturday morning. And Ken says that's probably going to be the trend for the next couple of days, waiting for that cool front to start the new year. Good morning. I'm Sarah Costa. It is 6 a.m. on your Saturday. What is the date today? December 28th.
Yes.
And Ken, so awesome to have you with us this morning.
Yes, it is very exciting to be here with you on this Saturday morning to bring everybody here in San Antonio and neighboring communities the news and the weather to kick off the weekend.
And Ken is from Minnesota. Well, you're not from, but you spent the last 6 years in Minnesota.
4 years in Minnesota, and then this summer I moved down here to San Antonio. Change of careers. I was did the morning news up in Duluth for 4 years, and then decided to become a high school science teacher.
At Churchill.
At Churchill High School, and it's been doing that for the last several months. Just finished the first semester. My first semester is teaching, and we're on, obviously our winter break right now, picking up a couple of shifts here at KSAT.
And I'm sorry that winter here in San Antonio has been a warm one.
Well, the saying goes, the coldest winter you'll ever experience is a summer in Duluth.
There you go.
So a nice warm summer day in Duluth is like what we're having right now this winter here in San Antonio.
I know. It is so warm and, muggy as well.
And muggy, definitely. As you can see, looking at our visibility this morning, we had some moisture move in out of the Gulf yesterday, last 24 hours, and that is bringing some patches of fog to our region this morning. As you can see, visibility slightly impacted. We're going to hold on to this fog over the next couple of hours, waiting for that sun to come up, and then about an hour or two later, we'll finally start to see this fog clear out. So if you're heading out the door this morning, do be aware that there is reduced visibility out there as you're traveling around. Above that fog, we are seeing a few clouds this morning. They rolled in last night. We'll be holding on to those for a couple of hours as well. But once we get into the mid-morning hours, we are going to see these clouds clear out, and we're going to see a lot of sunshine again this afternoon. So very similar to yesterday as far as conditions during the afternoon. Lots of sunshine, temperatures close to 80 degrees. It's going to be a beautiful day for us here in San Antonio. But this weekend overall, just a continuation of the last couple of days, looking at warm and sunny conditions. And then as we take a look into the beginning of next week, Monday, possible record high for us this year so far. We've had 12 record days as far as high temperatures go. This would be the 13th, so maybe lucky 13 is in store for us on Monday. And then as we roll into the New Year's, we are going to see a cold front come through Tuesday late and then again on Wednesday, and that'll drop temperatures down into the low 60s as we head into 2025. As far as that cold temperature goes and maybe how long we can expect the cooler weather to stick around, that's something I'll be talking about throughout the show today. So stick around for a few minutes. I'll bring you that full forecast right here on GMSA.
Ken, thank you. Breaking news, San Antonio Police Department has arrested this man you see on your screen. That's Avery Michael Rowe. He was wanted for the murder of Robert Ibarra. San Antonio police say Ibarra was found dead Tuesday on the Alazan Creek Trail on the city's west side. Again, the police department says that Avery Michael Rowe is now in custody. And this morning we are learning more about a crash on Loop 410 that killed a Good Samaritan. We now know the name of the man killed, and now 2 people are being charged in his death. The Bexar County Medical Examiner has identified the victim as 37-year-old Jesus David Russell Garcia. According to Castle Hills Police, Garcia stopped to help people involved in a wrong-way crash on Loop 410 that happened near Vance Jackson Road. Police say Garcia was hit as he was getting out of his vehicle. He was taken to the hospital where he died. As for those arrests, these are the 2 people facing charges in this case on your screen right now. 27-year-old Rudy Orozco is charged with driving while intoxicated. Police say he's the one who allegedly caused the initial wrong-way crash on Loop 410. And then 27-year-old Monica Jordan is being charged with intoxication manslaughter Records show she's accused of hitting and killing Garcia. And more than 1 week after a deadly crash at the Montessori school in northwest Bexar County, a family still fighting for answers as their child fights for her life. So the crash killed one teacher and injured 5 children. While the other 4 have been released from the hospital, a 1-year-old girl, Mikaya Amarni, was badly injured and is still in critical condition. Now the father of that 1-year-old girl, People Armani, is coming forward saying he wants more clarity from Bexar County investigators regarding the crash.
We really don't know the full story. We have doubts and questions about the driver. There's a lot of schools that they have kids exposed to high traffic areas, or their playground is not protected at all. We really want that to change.
So the father says right now his primary focus is making sure his daughter survives her injuries. Now, medical episodes, suicide, and murder, that's how more than a dozen Bexar County inmates died this year at jail. Our Daniela Ibarra looks back at this year's challenges and controversies at the Bexar County Jail.
Sir, what's your name?
Sorry?
What's your name?
What for?
In March, San Antonio police arrested 19-year-old Jesus Gonzalez on a felony warrant for a domestic violence charge. But Gonzalez never made it into a jail cell.
Without a doubt, that gun should have been found at some point before the point that it was found.
Body camera video shows San Antonio police failed to pat Gonzalez down before booking him. Gonzalez had a gun, which he used to shoot and kill himself while being strip searched. SAPD fired Officer Abdiel Munoz in August for neglecting his duty. 62-year-old Jose Barrera was killed on August 13th, the same day he was booked. The Bexar County Sheriff's Office charged a fellow inmate, Anthony Chase McGruder, with his murder. He was later indicted by a grand jury in November, according to court records. Barrera and Gonzalez are among the 13 Bexar County inmates who've died in custody this year. To try and tackle that, Sheriff Javier Salazar issued a policy rejecting certain inmates from jail. Local police departments slammed it, saying it strains resources.
I don't have the manpower.
A few weeks later, Salazar shared a streamlined process to provide medical care to prisoners. He wrote that it had, quote, never been our intention to create hardship, end quote, for other agencies. The jail itself has also been an issue.
What do you think is the biggest issue for you as a sheriff that you need to tackle?
Well, right now, jail population. We need to make better use of our jail space.
So currently you have more in the jail than our
capacity-wise, yes, sir.
Nameplate capacity.
Yes.
In October, the sheriff's office told county commissioners there are too many inmates in the jail. Some had to be housed in other counties. In late November, the Texas Commission on Jail Standards placed it out of compliance. BCSO says it submitted a plan to improve inmate health and streamline housing. And those are some of the top stories from the Bexar County Jail this year. For KSAT Investigates, I'm Daniela Ibarra.
Daniela, thank you. An investigation into a plane crash in Kazakhstan has been launched as survivors are speaking out about their experiences aboard that doomed flight. At least 38 people on board of the airliner were killed when it plummeted to the ground. Multiple survivors say they heard a loud bang as the plane descended for landing. U.S. officials say there are some signs the plane may have been shot down by Russian air defenses, which the Kremlin denies. A number of international airlines are suspending flights to Russia as this investigation continues. President-elect Donald Trump is urging the Supreme Court to step in and block a potential ban of TikTok. It's scheduled to go into effect January 19th unless the platform is sold to a U.S. company. So this move comes after Trump was met with the platform's CEO earlier this month. Congress approved the ban in April, citing security risks due to the app's ownership by Chinese company ByteDance. In his first administration, Trump unsuccessfully tried to ban TikTok in the U.S. by executive order. Okay, somebody in California just became a billionaire last night. That winning ticket was worth $1.2 billion. The historic prize has a cash option of nearly $550 million. The lucky numbers were 3, 7, 37, 49, 55. Mega Ball was 6. One lucky Texan also became a millionaire last night. Wasn't me. I did not win anything on my ticket by matching all 5 numbers minus the Mega Ball. The next Mega Millions drawing is Tuesday. Check your tickets. It's 6:10 and 69 degrees still ahead. Side hustles are a great way to make a little extra money, but want to turn it into a full-time job? Patty Santos will show us how. And the 32nd Alamo Bowl is set to kick off tonight. What you need to know before you go. First, let's take a look outside with live cam. 69 degrees, and it is a muggy, kind of foggy morning depending on where you live in our viewing area. When we come back, Ken will break down the next couple of days as warm, but he says there is a cool front in our future. He'll let us know when we come back. It's finally here. The Colorado Buffaloes and BYU Cougars will face off in the 32nd annual Alamo Bowl tonight. If you're headed out to the Alamo Dome to see the game, there's a few things you should know before walking out the door. First, tickets are still available for the game. If you plan to attend in person, if you're driving to the Alamo Dome, we want you to be aware of some closures. So during peak traffic times, northbound Cherry Street will be closed at Cesar Chavez Boulevard. For guests who plan to park in lots B or C, the Alamo Dome's website suggests traveling southbound on North Cherry Street from East Commerce Street or East Houston Street to access either parking lot. As always, expect congestion and traffic as we get closer to game time. Of course, parking might be a little bit of a nightmare. So to avoid that, via Park and Ride, you can take to the Alamo Dome easily. Guests can park their vehicles for free at either the Via Crossroads Boulevard or Stone Oak location, then hitch a ride on the bus. The bus will run from 3:30 to 6:30 to get there, and then 1 hour after the game ends. So bus fare is only $1.30 both ways. If you want to Uber to the Alamo Dome, you're in luck. According to Alamo Bowl's website, with courtesy of Silver Eagle Beverages, Uber riders can use the promo code. All right, write this one down. Holiday Ride 24, one word. That is your promo code during Bowl Week to receive a $10 credit while supplies last. That's pretty good. Lot D is the dedicated pickup and drop-off spot for rideshare attendees. For all your information you need to know to get to the Dome safely in time for the game, just head over to KSAT.com. And of course, if you want to enjoy this showdown from the comfort of your own home like me, you're in luck because you can watch the game right here on KSAT 12. Kickoff is at 6:30 tonight. But be sure to tune in starting at 10:30 this morning to catch our KSAT sports team pregame. Their pregame show. They're not pregaming, this is their pregame show. Later on GMSA, Devin Karp will also take us down to the official Alamo Bowl tailgate to show us what you can expect. Now we want to hear from you guys ahead of the big game. So who are you rooting for? Are you rooting for Colorado? 67% says Colorado. 33% says BYU. So let us know. You can scan that QR code that's right there on the bottom of your screen and let us know who you want to win. What about you, Ken?
I think just to help the numbers on the BYU side, maybe I'll root for BYU just to balance it out a little bit.
I don't have a preference. I went to Provost this summer, so and I walked the BYU campus. It was beautiful. So maybe BYU. I don't know. I really don't have a preference.
For sure, either way, I'll have the game on this afternoon, evening time to check it out, and really just hoping for a good game.
And, we know we have a lot of visitors in town. Welcome to San Antonio. Yes. I'm sure you're enjoying the San Antonio Riverwalk and all the restaurants in downtown. Yes. Great day for our visitors, especially from Colorado and BYU. It's colder right up there right now, but here they need shorts, sandals.
Yeah, Utah, Colorado, probably not so much Not so much t-shirt weather compared to us down here in San Antonio. The last couple of days have been really, really nice. And then today, another nice sunny day for us. But as far as morning temperatures right now, 69 degrees. This is a tad warmer than what we had yesterday at this time. Of course, the influx of moisture off of the Gulf over the last 24 hours, pushing those dew points into the 60s. And that's going to keep those overnight temperatures mild in addition to some cloud cover overhead. Of course, we are dealing with some patches of fog out there. Not so bad here in San Antonio. Still have 7 miles visibility, but there are areas neighboring San Antonio that have that visibility reduced down a little bit more than that. So definitely be careful if you're out traveling about this morning in the San Antonio vicinity. But as far as morning temperatures right now, again, 69 here in San Antonio, 70 over in Converse and Stinson as well. Up in Hill Country, we have 64 in Bernie. Utopia also at 64, a little bit further to the west. And then Uvalde looks like the cold spot at 60. But again, up in New Braunfels, 72 degrees for the warm spot right now. But as far as the temperature change compared to yesterday, right now we are 25 degrees warmer at this moment compared to 24 hours ago, 30 degrees warmer up in Comfort, definitely feeling comfortable up that direction. But as you see, very warm relative to yesterday at 618. Now, as far as dew points right now, in the mid 60s. Yesterday at this time, again, we were down in the 30s and the low 40s as far as dew points, and it is that dew point that caused the influx or the temperatures to be much warmer this morning. Now, as far as the hour forecast for today, again, we're going to hold on to the upper 60s throughout the next couple of hours, and then once we get to about 10 o'clock, we're going to see temperatures finally start to get into the low 70s. That's when we expect the fog to really start to clear up, and then with plenty of sunshine in store for us this afternoon, highs getting back into the upper 70s, pushing 80 degrees, and just sunny skies all the way up until game time this evening. But as far as satellite and radar goes, again, we're seeing some clouds, maybe a little bit of some rainfall up towards Dallas, possibly a little bit of some drizzle in some areas down here in south central Texas. But as we get into the afternoon hours, all this moisture is going to push off to the east, and maybe up in Arkansas, Louisiana, see a little bit of some afternoon showers. And then this system is going to just continue to move off to the east, and down here in southern Texas, we're going to stay dry and sunny all the way through the weekend into the beginning of next week. Not seeing any type of activity through Texas, New Mexico, Oklahoma, even staying dry over the next several days. And as we head into Tuesday, we are going to continue to stay dry. Maybe by the time Wednesday rolls around, we'll see a change in the weather pattern as a cold front drives out of the north. As far as moisture over the course of the weekend, again, it's going to be mainly off to the east. Chance for maybe a little bit of drizzle this morning as long as that humidity sticks around. But that's about all we can expect as far as any type of precipitation from the sky. High temperatures today, again, upper 70s, low 80s across south central Texas, mid 80s further south in Laredo. And then our 7-day forecast, again, we're going to hold on to these warm temperatures all the way through the weekend into the first part of next week, New Year's Day. Finally going to see a drop in temperatures down into the low 60s. I know Sarah's looking forward to the lower temperatures, but until then, sunny and warm, much like I expected when I moved down here to Texas several months ago.
Yeah, South Texas gal here, born and raised, and I look forward to those 40s, 60s because they're so rare here, and especially this winter. It's been so warm, so hopefully we'll get some cooler temps with that.
Those low 60-degree days have definitely been fewer and farther between this year.
Especially when you're pregnant and you're just hot all the time. Oh my God, I pray for those.
I feel for you.
Thank you, Ken. It's 6:20 and 69 degrees. We've all heard about the benefits of having a side hustle, but could you turn it into a career? Patty Santos introduces us to someone who did just that. That's next. A lot of people are looking to make a little extra money to supplement their income, especially around the holidays. For some, an opportunity like that comes easier than others. Patty Santos with how a San Antonio woman turned her side hustle into a full-time job.
My name is Angel Contero. My business is called Que Bonita Crafts. I started a year before the pandemic.
Art and creativity comes natural for Angel Contero.
I mirror image it, put it into the heat machines.
But it just recently became her bread and butter.
I've been drawing my whole life. I've been doing this seriously. In April, it'll be 6 years. All you do is push it down right here.
Fed up and stressed with her job in the medical field, Angel invested into herself and turned her hobby into a business.
So I started drawing, I started painting, I started selling my things, and then the pandemic hit. So I had to pivot into digital illustrations and things like that, so that way I can mail or email my works to my customers. Then it turned into putting those digital works onto t-shirts, onto cups, onto mugs, stickers, and that's where we're at today. And also now we do murals.
It's taken years of hard work, from sitting in markets to sell her crafts to growing followers on social media and having her items on display at local shops across Texas. Family support and networking are key to her success.
I'm starting to make a really good income out of this. It's kind of evolved it even to like event planning.
Awesome. 625, 69 degrees. We'll be right back. Someone was feeling the Christmas spirit in Phoenix, Arizona. They dropped a valuable gold coin, that coin on your screen there, into one of the Salvation Army's red kettles. The face value of the half-ounce gold American Eagle coin is $25, but it is appraised at over $1,300. It says, "May this gold help the people in need during the Christmas season. Bless you." Came with that note that I just read. Oh my gosh, this is such a good story. $1,300. You know what? There's not a lot of Scrooges out there. There's more people just... Tiny Tims, thank you. There's more Tiny Tims out there spreading the holiday cheer. All right, 629, 69 degrees. If you're an RBFCU customer, you might want to give them a call pretty soon because they are the target of a recent data breach. What you need to know if you bank with them, that's next. And USAA is being grounded by the federal government. The details behind the recent cease and desist order, that's next. Welcome back. It is 6:33 on your Saturday, December 28th. We are rounding out the end of 2024 with some warm temps, but hopefully bring in some cooler temps by 2025.
Yes, I mean, it's officially winter, but you wouldn't know it based on the weather we've been having the last couple of days. Of course, Christmas Day was a little bit cooler, which I'm sure you enjoyed.
I did. I look forward to those cooler temps, not this like mugginess that we've been having.
Right. But unfortunately, that Christmas Day cool down was a one-off as last couple weeks have been warm, and today an influx of moisture out of the Gulf has led to some patches of fog developing in south central Texas. Not too bad here in San Antonio, but definitely if you are traveling in areas nearby, definitely could see some fog out and about. So do be careful when you're traveling. Make sure you have your headlights on and all that sort of thing because of the reduced visibility with that cloud cover or fogginess. And we also have a bit of cloud cover as well this morning, starting to try to push off to the east. There's some trailing clouds here, and so we're going to see again a few clouds for the next couple of hours before they clear out, and then things start to warm up. That fog will start to clear up as well, and then we'll get plenty of sunshine during the late morning hours, and that will continue until the sun sets later on this evening. As far as temperatures right now, we are in the upper 60s to low 70s in the San Antonio metro area, and again, the much warmer temperatures this morning are due to that influx of moisture, keeping those temperatures high in addition to the cloud cover as well. So fairly mild when you're stepping outside this morning, and then those high temperatures this afternoon getting right to about 80 degrees is what we can expect. Again, very similar to what we saw yesterday and the day before. We're going to hold on to these warm temperatures for a few more days until a cold front approaches us during the middle of next week. I'll tell you more about that coming up here in a few minutes.
Thank you. Big technical problems for RBFCU. If you bank there, your personal information may have been leaked in a data breach. So the Texas Attorney General's office says this may have happened to 4,600 customers. The breach was reported on Monday to the data breach security website. Customers' names, debit card numbers, and account numbers were leaked. So RBFCU told KSAT it's contacting those impacted members. In a statement from the credit union, a spokesperson tells us, quote, RBFCU takes events like this very seriously. We continue to follow regulatory protocol as we contact our members and other affected parties. To protect our members' privacy, RBFCU will share no further details at this time. End quote. RBFCU sent letters to those customers who were affected. And unfortunately, they're not the only local financial group with problems this morning. The U.S. Office of Comptroller of Currency has issued a cease and desist order to USAA Federal Savings Bank, citing ongoing violations and accusing the San Antonio-based bank of engaging in, quote, unsafe and unsound practices, end quote. So the order requires the bank to improve its risk and compliance management and will also restrict USAA from expanding its membership criteria and adding new products and services. So USAA spokesperson Roger Wildermuth said while progress has been slower than expected, the bank is committed to addressing the issues, strengthening its systems and enhancing its services for military members and veterans. After a decade of service to the community, a beloved East Side eatery shutting down. So Dignity Meats officially closes in just 2 days. The last day is Monday, December 30th. So we spoke with customers during the lunch hour yesterday who wanted to make sure they had their delicious barbecue one last time.
They eat here a few times before they do close. We've been here in the past. It's been a while since we've been here, and the food was always good. It's usually in the evenings when they come at dinner time. We really haven't been here for lunch, so we figured we'd come down here and try it before they did close up.
So it isn't the end for the owners of Dignity Meat. So they told us off camera yesterday they plan to open another restaurant in the future. As for the location and what that restaurant will be has not been announced at this time. Lines of tents and campers have popped up around a local Specs liquor store the last few days as connoisseurs of bourbon prepare for a limited release of the spirit today. So some of these folks pitched their tents days ago just to be the first in line to purchase these limited time drinks when the Specs on Bandera Road opens at 10 this morning. This isn't the first time bourbon lovers have staked out stores in San Antonio, and they say if all goes well, this won't be the last time either.
I'm here for some tasty bourbon.
Kind of bottles that you don't get your hands on, unfortunately, and you have to resort on camping here.
I have over 400 bottles of allocated bourbon. I have a collection of 120 bottles of Eagle Rare.
Okay, so the limited release will include more than 20 selections of bourbons from Blanton's to Old Forester. The release will be at 10 a.m. this morning at Specs Wine and Spirits on Bandera Road. Well, several city and municipal offices are closed for the holidays, and many will remain closed until January 2nd. For urgent concerns, call 311. All public safety and emergency services, of course, remain open. As for your trash pickup, that resumed on Thursday. Trash pickup has been delayed 1 day for the last few days. So if Friday was your trash pickup, it's being picked up today. After that, trash pickup should be on schedule until the new year. And with Christmas in the books, you might be wondering just how you're going to get rid of that Christmas tree. Here's one way. You can recycle the trees with Texas disposal systems. You just drop them off at the locations you see on your screen there. Texas disposal systems also accepting organic decorations. It will recycle your stuff for free through January 31st. And a new year means new rules. A number of laws and changes will go into effect starting January 1st of 2025. That includes everything from car inspections for us here in Texas to new privacy rules to keep your data safe online. So let's start with car inspections. House Bill 3297 states that starting in January, all non-commercial cars will require a safety inspection before registration. Instead, you pay a $7.50 registration fee when you go and get that blue sticker. So it doesn't mean you don't have to get a registration sticker. That's what I thought. I was wrong. You still have to get your car registered. But now, while mandatory inspections are going away statewide, some counties will require emission tests. So people in Bexar County don't have to worry about those tests right now. But emissions testing will start in the county starting in 2026. And moving from the roads to online, Texas House Bill 4 is giving Texans more control over their personal data. While the primary bill is already in effect, one section goes into effect starting in January. That section states that a consumer can designate another person or program to opt out of personal data processing on their behalf. This means consumers will not need to contact businesses directly to opt out of giving their personal data. Companies must honor the request if they can verify the consumer's identity, but can refuse under a few circumstances. We have that list of exceptions on KSAT.com. Lastly, State Senate Bill 2, the sweeping property tax relief bill, passed last year. So it has a few sections going into effect soon. One section includes extra funding to school districts to offset property tax revenue they'll be losing out on thanks to previous cuts. Another section requires the TEA to post each school district's maximum compressed rate for the current and preceding tax year. Lastly, one section will repeal tax discounts that have already expired. All these changes and some other laws that will go into effect next year can be found on our websites at ksat.com. 642, 69 degrees. Let's take a look outside with live cam. Muggy start to our Saturday morning. And, you know, this mugginess and warm temps, Ken says they're going to stick around. But good news, there is a cool front later this week. He'll tell us when we come back. Holidays on Houston Street still happening in downtown San Antonio. The new downtown tradition offers a lot to enjoy. Visit over 5 blocks of Houston Street from Legacy Park to the Alamo, where you'll be greeted with the magic of twinkling lights and large festive decorations, entertainers, and special offerings from restaurants and shops. So the celebrations will last until January 2nd of the new year. And hopefully with the new year, Ken, will bring us cooler temps.
Yes. No, you're looking forward to the cooler weather.
Yes.
I guess I kind of am looking forward to the cooler weather. When I signed up to move to San Antonio, I knew it was going to be warmer, but a part of me misses the colder Duluth weather.
Yeah.
But maybe not as cold as they're having right now.
What are they right now?
I know they're down in like the single digits.
Oh my
for
gosh.
your morning temperatures, and then the highs are in the 20s and 30s.
We don't do well with those here in San
No.
Antonio, but 40s and 60s, yes, we can do that.
Yes. I know you enjoy those temperatures, and end of next week, you'll get those. Even a cooler New Year's Eve is in store for us after a couple of warm ones as we head into the weekend. Again, today looking at 79 for a high. Monday, 82 degrees, but right on the cusp of what could be the 13th time we break a record high this year. The record for Monday is 83, so we'll get really close. And then Tuesday start to cool down for New Year's Eve, and then New Year's Day we see 61 for a high, and those cooler temperatures for the balance of next week. So something to look forward to if you don't enjoy these warm winter days. Right now, temperatures across the south central region, 69 here in San Antonio. New Braunfels at 71 degrees, over in Del Rio 56, and then a couple of 60s up in Hill Country right now. Bernie with a little bit higher humidity. Again, that fog is a concern across the region this morning. So when you're out and about traveling, make sure you do travel with your lights on. As far as the dew points right now, again, here in San Antonio, we have a 66 degree dew point. Of course, more humidity as you get closer to the Gulf. But out in Del Rio, things are a little bit drier. That's why temperatures are a bit cooler for neighbors to the west, and then we have seen those dew points climb over the last 24 hours. Over the next 24 hours, we will see them drop. Right now, still holding on to some southerly winds, continuing to bring that moisture in off of the Gulf, but we're going to see a shift in the wind pattern over the next 12 hours. So this afternoon, winds will be more out of the west, and that's going to push that moisture back eastward, and then we'll see a drop in those dew points back down into the 40s, and that'll make for conditions a little bit more comfortable as we get into Sunday and then Monday as well. So temperatures will be high, warm as still, but those dew points will be a bit lower. So again, things will be a little bit more comfortable as far as the humidity levels go. As far as your 12-hour forecast for today, again, we're looking at holding on to right around 69, 70 degrees for the next several hours. And then once the sun comes up, we'll finally get a little bit of a push in those temperatures. Once they get into the low 70s, we'll see the fog start to clear out, and then we'll get plenty of sunshine into the afternoon when highs are going to reach the upper 70s, right around 80 degrees. And that sunshine will be sticking around throughout the entirety of the evening. And we're looking at some clear skies tonight. Now, with high temperatures for this afternoon, again, mid 70s up in Hill Country, slightly cooler, but then as you get further south, temperatures in the upper 70s to low 80s. As far as the satellite and radar goes, we are seeing a little bit of some moisture up in northern Texas, up near Dallas, and then this moisture is just going to continue to stay mainly to our east over the course of the day here in San Antonio. Maybe a little bit of drizzle chance still this morning. Once the sun comes up, expect that chance of drizzle to dissipate. But again, any moisture that we see over the weekend is going to be to our east, and the system is going to head up into the Appalachians and New England states, and then down here in San Antonio, again, just staying dry over the weekend and then into next week. And then when they see a cold front come through on Monday evening into Tuesday, we're going to stay dry for us here. Not going to be any type of major activity with these cold fronts, just looking at some cooler weather headed our direction. Again, as far as the weekend goes, we're looking at the upper 70s, low 80s, low lows in the 50s, but that weather that Sarah's really looking forward to, those 60s and those 40s, those are expected to be coming at the beginning of 2025, starting with New Year's Eve. And of course, the mornings have been really warm, but for New Year's Eve, probably still need to get the sweater out because temperatures will be down in the 40s when you're out celebrating, staying up late, if you can.
I know I'm going to try too, and I think my husband laughed. He's like, yeah, he's like, I know you're going to bed by 9.
Yes, you'd be like my grandpa, just living on the West Coast. At 9 o'clock, he'd watch the ball drop in New York and say, Happy New Year, I'm going to bed.
That's my kind of party. Yes. Thank you, Ken. Coming up, are you binging the newest season of Squid Game to end off the year? How this season turning the tables on fans. That's next. The new season of Squid Games has officially dropped on Netflix, and it's throwing some audience members more dramatic curveballs than ever. Plus, if you're a fan of metal music, a new documentary just dropped that's just for you. Here's your Hollywood Minute.
The new season of Squid Game finds mother and son characters participating together in the deadly contest.
한국을 대표하는 엄마, K-mom.
She is a traditional Korean mom. She has a lot of warmth and love, not only to give to her son, but the other people around her. She also can be a little bit nosy, so I think she was a very fun character to play. He's someone that has an immense amount of gambling debt, so he enters the games because he needs to pay off this debt, and he's very surprised to find that his mom is also there.
Squid Game is now streaming on Netflix.
3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1.
German rock band Rammstein has released a nearly hour-long documentary giving viewers a behind-the-scenes look at what it took to stage its 5-year-long World Stadium tour. The film shows the people and logistics behind setting up the massive performance and is free to view on Rammstein's YouTube page.
It's me, Mario!
It's a Mario's music. Nintendo has added the soundtrack from Super Mario 64 to its Nintendo Music app. The app is available on Android and iOS devices and free for active members of the Nintendo Switch online service. In Hollywood, I'm Rick Damigella.
Just learned that Ken is a Rammstein metal fan. That was interesting. All right, 6:55, 69 degrees. We'll be right back. Before you go, remember that tonight is the big night. BYU and Colorado facing off in the Alamo Bowl starting at 6:30. You can watch the game right here on KSAT 12. Be sure to tune in at 10:30 to catch our KSAT Sports Team pregame show. Good luck to both teams, and we'll see you there.
All right, final look at our forecast for today. Another warm one in store for South Central Texas. Upper 70s, low 80s, mid 70s up in Hill Country. But again, the warm weather moved in on Thursday. We felt it yesterday, and then we're going to continue to feel it through the weekend. Upper 70s, low 80s. Monday could see potentially a record high if we get enough warming. We'll see. It would be the 13th record high for 2024. But after Monday, we are going to see things cool down as we head into 2025. New Year's Day, looking at 61 degrees, and then your overnight lows are going to be more closer to 50 moving forward because of the moisture that we're feeling this morning. That's going to clear out, so some dry, warm days ahead. And then, of course, the low 60s, which are some nice, comfortable temperatures to kick off the new year.
Thank you, Ken. And hey, for our viewers, don't go anywhere because, of course, we'll be back here at 8 a.m. Good Morning America's next. But also at 10 o'clock today, we have Texas Eats. At 10:30, we have a KSAT special before the big Alamo Bowl. See you later.